Chapter 3, The Architecture of a Scar. The morning sun poured into the lofts like molten gold, hitting the colorful murals on the walls and the steam rising from 2 cups of strong coffee. The lowlands outside was already humming with the bass from passing cars and the smell of breakfast from the street vendors below. Malik stood behind Maya in the bathroom, his large hands steady and warm as he worked with a roll of medical tape. He gently peeled back the old bandage from her shoulder, his thumb grazing her skin with a grounding touch. The skin was closing up, but the healing was a stark contrast to the vibrancy of the room. Deep midnight blue, geometric veins branched out like a crystalline fracture, looking more like obsidian jewelry than a wound. "It's setting in," Malik murmured, his voice a deep, soulful rumble. "But it looks like a signature. Like they have already started claiming the space before we even set foot back in that building." Maya caught his eyes in the mirror, her expression determined. "How are you actually feeling about this meeting?" The architect didn't sound like he was giving you an opportunity on that phone. He sounded like he was trying to buy your soul. Malik looked at the blue envelope resting on the counter. "I'm not feeling it, Maya. I spent my whole life thinking a promotion was the way to win. But after seeing that silhouette in the glass office, I don't think that's a man I want to be." 9 o'clock in the morning, Malik arrived at the tower, a monolith of gray steel that stood like an ice cube in the middle of a bonfire. He was escorted to the top floor where the architect, stoic and mature in a sharp royal blue power suit, waited. The architect paced the obsidian floor, his velvet voice speaking of perfect trajectories and optimized futures. Back at the lofts, Maya was perched on the edge of the bed, the vibrant chaos of the street noise filtering through the window as she watched the grainy hack feed on Malik's tablet. Malik stood tall, his hands in his pockets, refusing to let the sterile air of the office dampen his energy. "I need time," he said firmly. The architect remained relentlessly positive, treating Malik's resistance as if he couldn't possibly make a final decision to decline his proposal. He ended the meeting with a firm, professional handshake, sealing a deadline for 9 o'clock in the morning the following day. On the screen, as Malik and the architect gripped hands, the audio turned into a high-pitched digital scream. The image fractured, pixels turning into jagged obsidian lines that tore through the video. Just before the feed went black, the architect's head tilted. He looked directly into the camera lens with a terrifying, unreadable stillness. Malik burst into the loft minutes later, cradling his hand as the sting hit, a biting sensation like grabbing dry ice. He laid his palm flat on the table under the bright morning light. The wound was visceral. A cluster of jagged obsidian shards had burst through the skin, surrounded by the same midnight blue geometric veins Maya carried on her shoulder. "He touched me," Malik rasped. "Just a handshake." "I saw it," Maya said, her voice shaking but her eyes focused. "The signal shattered the second he gripped your hand." Maya rushed to the bathroom cabinet and back to Malik, with bandages and everything she could remember that he used to tend to her wound. She cleaned it and dressed it as quickly and as thoroughly as she could. "Let's get to the barber shop," Malik insisted. "I want to know what the waiter has to tell us." Maya grabbed her phone and her keys. "I'm ready," she replied as she hurried to follow Malik out of the door. They moved through the lowlands, only to realize the barber shop was closer than they expected. Once they reached Huey and Caesar's barbershop, the air was thick with the scent of cedar and the soul of the community. Marcus Reed and his brother Julian were waiting in the back room. "This is my brother Julian," Marcus said. Julian was a mountain of a man who ran both the shop and his own street-level operation. Malik held out his hand. "Take a look at this. Their touch is infectious. Do you know what it is?" They looked at the crystalline fractures in Malik's palm. "It's not an infection," Julian said, his baritone voice filling the room. "The reason it's burning you is because there's a possibility that you two are immune. Your souls are fighting the cold before it even gets to the gates." Julian explained that the high-level dealers, the ones who took the promotion on the street level, have already been hollowed and are trying to push him out because he is a vibrant variable they cannot control. He proposed a mission. If they are immune, they can infiltrate the retreat to see how the hollow dynamics work from the inside. Malik and Maya returned home, vowing to keep their bond and loyalty to each other above all else. Later that night, Julian was intercepted on a street corner by a rival dealer decked out in royal blue street casuals. The dealer, moving with eerie, optimized precision, told Julian to join the crew and become a real boss. Julian stood his ground, his shadow long against the brick wall. Man, I'm the head of my own shit. Why the fuck do I need to copy what you got going on? The dealer issued a final, chilling warning. The architect doesn't negotiate with noise, Julian. We will see how much that soul is worth when the sun hits the summit at 9 o'clock in the morning.